All right, sorry about that. I just want to make sure that so that was at 1 minute 52 seconds that we started. What's going on, guys? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and I just basically want to talk about the latest AMD offerings. What they call high-end, I call mid-range GPUs, the RX 7800 XT and RX 7700 XT. To make a long story short, considering the title of this video, should you get the RX 7800 or 7700 XT for mining? The straight up answer, in my personal opinion, is no. Unless you're a gamer that just needs a card and will mine on the side. These things should be much more efficient than their predecessors. However, based off of what we're seeing from the benchmarks and everything out there from our favorite tech tubers, these cards are going to perform roughly the same as either a 6700 XT or a little bit above, or a 6800 non-XT or just a little bit above. So the 7800s in between the 6800 XT or 6800 depending on the workload or gaming title, and the 7700 XTs a little bit above the 6700 XT and possibly the 6750 XT depending on the workload or gaming benchmark or game that you're playing. So with that said, you know, I've been excited about, and I'm sorry to try to be fuddled here, I'm still working. I have been excited about AMD, just the fact that they were offering more VRAM on both of these GPU models compared to the 4060 Ti, 4060, so on and so forth, and even the 4070. I know the desktop version comes with 12 gigabytes of VRAM, whereas the 7800 XT comes with 16, and then the 7700 comes with 12 as well. 12 is the new minimum, as I said many of times, as Hardware Unboxed Steve has said, Gamers Nexus Steve, even Linus Tech Tips. Doesn't matter who you talk to, with the way gaming is going, the increased graphics, the increased ray tracing, lighting, the way things reflect, whatever it might be, just the visual quality of these games increasing, the minimum amount of VRAM you might need per these resolutions is increasing, right? What used to get by at 4 gigabytes per card was okay, is no longer okay. 6 was okay, is no longer okay. 10 was okay, and now we're looking at our old school 3080s being like, wow, 10 doesn't really hang, especially when you're playing at 1440p and 4K. Not saying that everybody's playing at 4K right now, but most of us are kind of moving from 1080p gaming to 1440p gaming. So these cards are attractive and they're a decent offering from AMD. However, I made the decision, because while I was releasing my video saying I was excited, and in my live streams advising that if I could get my hands on one at launch, I will, and provide the data like I normally do as far as the crypto mining aspect goes, the hash rates, performance, stuff like that, I decided to hold off, right? One, because I'm not in a position financially even to spend $500. I know that seems like, wow, that's not a lot, or 450 bucks. I'm just not financially in that position to spend that kind of money on a card that I'm going to use one time and might get a couple hundred views on it. I'm sure one of my other colleagues will get a lot more views because they're a lot larger, bigger, and have more influence. But me per se, the investment it's not worth it for me and my channel. However, people do love my data analysis or the way I data dump that information on Reddit, on Boss Coin Talk, how I disseminate that information, comparing hash rates, stock, and then with mild clocks, and then undervolting, and I show all that hash rate and information. So if you do like it, please consider subscribing. Please consider becoming a member. I do have a Patreon. I now have a locals. Any way that you can support the channel will help to go funding the parts. But right now, the channel isn't making much during this bear market, so I don't think it's a feasible investment for me. So I'm not going to do it. So let's just focus on where the sales are, hash rate speculation, all that good stuff, and we'll wait for Dizzy Mining or one of our other colleagues to come out with the hash rate information. But long story short, you should expect the 7700 XT to perform a little bit above the 6700 XT as far as hash rate, and maybe a little bit less power draw, so better efficiency, because that's the key here, is these GPUs are more efficient. But I wouldn't say they're powerhouses compared to their predecessors. Actually, the 7700 XT beats the 6800 or the 7800. No, excuse me. The 7700 XT actually is comparable to the 6800 XT on certain workloads, which is kind of sad, because I don't know. It just depends on the workload. But I think one of the biggest reasons why these cards have sold out as we saw with a number of our colleagues in the tech space, as well as Moore's Law is Dead and various articles, is that Newegg is offering a premium license of Starfield with the GPUs, whereas Best Buy is not. And Video Cards did warn that, certain places would provide a premium CD key if you did buy through them, and that's what's happening here. So, Newegg has sold out. I am excited for FSR3. I'm excited to see some of the technology that AMD has been working on being able to be utilized by Intel or Nvidia, doesn't matter, right? Whereas Nvidia's, DLSS and certain features and stuff like that, and G-Sync is very exclusive to them. AMD is a little bit more open source, and that's one of the reasons why many of the community would flock to them. And honestly, AMD's just been killing it, especially in the CPU market. All my systems are AMD now when they used to be Intel, because they've just been progressing with Ryzen so well. And it's good to see, I wouldn't say AMD dethroning Nvidia, but, kind of catching up. I wouldn't say the 7900 XTX, which is the GPU in this current system, is the top dog. But, comparing it to the 4090, while the 4090 is the king of all GPUs right now, the 7900 XTX does do a pretty good job of throwing its punches and kind of holding its own in the ring. But on Newegg right now, if we're searching by the two GPUs that launched, 7700 XT is available, and you can get the Starfield Premium Edition with selected AMD Radeon graphics card, limited time offer. But that's $450. And so if I scroll down here to the sold out section, the lowest 7800 XT was around $500, right? And honestly, I would rather get the 7800 XT just because of the extra $50. Maybe it might be like 70 when all said and done, taxes and all that stuff. But I would rather do that, spend the extra 50 and get the 7800 XT with four more gigabytes of VRAM than a 7700 XT. However, it's really up to you right now watching live or in the chat. Do you want me to get this card and do what I do best, which is to compile data, do a rigorous gamut of benchmarks, and then data dump the data on Reddit or throughout the numerous outlets that I have? If you really want me to, I will. But financially, financially and personally, I'm just at my limit. Right? I can't afford any more reoccurring bills. After the accident and everything and having to buy a new car because my son got hit or T-boned on the way to college, right now we're in a position where we're okay. Bills are covered, but we can't keep occurring, new bills, new reoccurring bills, monthly transactions, monthly payments. The debt is not where I would like it to be, right? Everybody who says you should be up, below 30% utilization, we're beyond that. Obviously, because the whole world is kind of dealing with this crap storm, no lie, and I'm not the only one, so don't act like I'm the only one. So it's just basically keep your head down. I don't want to sell my crypto to go buy this GPU. I do believe that AMD will have some aggressive price cuts if you waited a little bit. If you are interested in one of these models and you wait a little bit, I do believe that aggressive price cuts will happen, because realistically, if you listen to some of the tech tubers, these GPUs are, in some cases, like the 7800 XT, they're saying just go get the 6800 XT if you can find it for a certain price range. If you can find a 6800 XT, 350, 400 or lower, go for that instead. If you can find, a 6700 XT, which is around 300, 350, go with that instead, because the previous generation GPUs are not in a bad spot whatsoever when you're considering the price to performance compared to these new models. But it is good to see AMD giving some competitive edge in the mid-range, so to speak. But yeah, all of the 7800 XTs on Newegg is sold out. I suspect, not only because the 7800 XT did get decent reviews amongst the tech tubers, but because Starfield is an option, a free premium license to get Starfield is an option. I can see people buying those out, and I let's go look at eBay. I didn't see anything yesterday, where people were selling the RX 7800 XT, because you know how these bots and some of these people are, right? They buy out stock just to resell it. I'm not seeing that, right? I might see some pre-builts being offered, but I'm not seeing where the GPUs themselves are being offered. So it's going into the hands of individuals who either want this game or wants a GPU and game, or want the GPU. So that's good to see. It's not being ate up by bots and stuff like that. And on Best Buy, the 7700 XT is available. 7800 XT, you know, I was gonna pull the trigger again on this $500 7800 XT from Gigabyte. It is the lower end model, but then I looked at it and I was like, why don't I get the game like Newegg? And then you know, again, 500. Do I really want to spend 500 right now? I don't really need to spend 500, right? I got the GPUs I need to power my systems. I got what I need. My sons are good. My kids are good. I'm actually giving away an RTX 3060 to one lucky gamer or gamer slash miner or individual that just can put it to use, can complete a build. Link is in the description. Gleam.io giveaway. I don't need to buy this GPU. I would only buy it if you, the community, want the data. And even if I get my hands on 1 month from now, instead of at launch, you know, got to be the first at launch, I would still do the data, collect it up for you, and provide it online and post it where I normally post it. You know, GPU mining in Reddit, that Reddit thread or group has been really good to me, and they just let me post all the hash rates for various algorithms, different clocks, different settings. Here's the power draw at the wall. And then you guys just take it and then compare it against what your other content creators do. So it really is on you guys. If you guys want me to buy it, I will buy it. You know, I don't like the fact that I would spend $450 on a 7700 XT. When $50 more, I could get a 7800 XT. I'd rather just wait. But the 7700 XT seems like a good buy as well, if you couldn't find any of the previous generation GPUs. 7800 XT looks pretty good at that price point if the previous generation GPUs weren't available. And maybe they're drying up. But let's just go into the hash rate so we can wrap up the stream. And I'll check the live chat here in a minute if you have any questions or comments. But right now, everybody's just saying what's up. Good morning, afternoon, evening to you. So the 6800 XT, right now, we have one of those at 15 cents per kilowatt hour, which is the average here in North America, or about the universal average here in North America, not in the EU or anywhere else. You know, Dynex is the most profitable. Clore, Gold Cache, you know, some of the Kapow algorithms. And the goal here is to save power as much as possible, right? So on Dynex, on the 6800 XT, or excuse me, the 6800, not the 6800 XT, is 113 watts or 140 watts on Kapow, right? So it really varies from algo to algo, but you want to drop that power as much as possible. You're probably bringing down the core clocks to 1350, 1250, 1150, and you're boosting up the mem depending on the algorithm, or you're dropping the mem depending on the algorithm. Core intensive workloads, drop the mem. Memory intensive workloads, boost up the mem to whatever's stable. And we're only making around 15 cents a day right now on Dynex, right? So 41 cents overall, 15 cents after electricity, and then the rest are, you know, 10 cents a day after electricity costs are paid, or 11 cents, or 9 cents, 10 cents. So it is positive. It is positive right now if you had the 6800 to mine cryptocurrency. If you had that one GPU, but obviously if you got that one GPU and a perfectly built gaming rig or system, you know, you got to account for other things that are drawing power, your memory, your CPU. Even though some of it may be sitting idle because it's not being tasked as hard, you're still drawing that power. But this is just counting the GPU in general. You know, again, 6800 XT, you're making 16 cents versus 15 cents. So you're making 1 cent more with the 6800 XT than you are the 6800. What is the 7800 XT going to do differently? I don't think much. I think the miners, as we've seen in the past before, is when new GPUs come out, even though it's similar, but maybe there was a few tweaks, the kernels need to be updated. There might be some optimizations in the code that the miner devs need to adjust in order to get that GPU to really be fully utilized. We've seen it before with the 5000 series, with the 6000 series, and with each GPU progression. Nvidia is a little bit more easy to deal with. You know, you just buy the GPU, plug it in, boom, you can hash away. With the AMD side of things, there might be a little bit of a adjustment time that you might want to let the devs figure out. But, you know, let's say the 7800 XT can do 20 cents a day, right, on Dynex, or 15 cents a day on Clore, right? You know, looking at the gaming benchmarks, where you're going to be saving, the hash rates may be very similar, but where you're going to be saving is efficiency. The power draw may be a lot lower than what it was on the 6800, 6800 XT, 6700 XT. Looking at the 6700 XT, you know, the top one in mine right now is Alphium, and that's 14 cents a day, right? After everything is said and done. Actually, it looks like we're negative. I'm not sure how hash rate's calculating that, but it says revenue 13 cents, and then it says 24 hour after the kilowatt. So I guess profit is 1 cent. And everything else is negative. I misread that. My apologies. My apologies. I don't know why I was reading that wrong. I was looking at revenue for 24 hours per kilowatt hour, which is usually what I go by. But yeah, if we're looking at fiat profit, which I don't like to focus on, I like to focus on the amount of the cryptocurrency we earn, like 0.5 Dynex a day, 32 Chlor a day, so on and so forth, because the project might pop off. Maybe you believe in it. Maybe you believe in the team. But long story short, these things are right at that 0 cent mark, if not in the negative versus fiat. And it's going to come down to efficiency. You know, 6700 XT can do 82 watts or 4.3 kilohash at 82 watts. That's pretty good, right? It can do Alphium at 40 watts. So, you know, these GPUs were already efficient. How much more efficient have they gotten with, you know, the 7800 XT and the 7700 XT? The biggest difference, too, as well, especially with Kapow and some of those workloads, is the CU counts got cut down between the 6800 XT and the 7800 XT. We're only at 60 CUs. Streaming processors 3840, and then the memory bus. I'm happy they did this. You know, 256-bit on the 7800 XT, 192 on the 7700 XT. So memory-wise, bandwidth-wise, it should be good. They're powered by two 8-pin power connectors, so they're decent. But should you go out there and buy 6 of them to put in a 6 GPU rig? No. Should you go out there and buy, you know, 1 or 2 because you just want to focus strictly on mining? Probably not. To utilize for gaming, maybe FSR, and then mining on the side when you're not utilizing your system, yeah, 100%. And I said that before with the 6000 series. So it's good to see that people that actually want the GPU are getting the GPU, that we're not fighting the bots and these scalpers and traders that just buy these GPUs to resell them at a higher market value, because the GPU market is saturated and it has a lot of the previous generation, which are better than these offerings considering the price to performance. However, I am intrigued and I am interested. I'm just not going to pull the trigger, and I actually recorded a short that I didn't publish because I'm leaving it up to you guys. If you guys really want me to spend the money so I can do what I do as far as getting the data, hash rate, performance, and all that stuff, I will do it. However, I'm not comfortable doing it only because financially it doesn't make sense for me. So as long as it's going to a good cause, you know, somebody's getting it, maybe some young kid that built their first system, you know, just missing a GPU, been running off of integrated graphics for such a long time, finally gets a GPU, now they can finish their system that them and their dad or them and their mom built. I'm happy for it. That's really what the computer world is all about, or the gaming space is all about, right? Getting the young generation involved, building their own computers like I taught my own children, and learning how to maintain and manage, you know, maintenance, clean it up, stuff like that. But yeah, I like the Phantom Gaming. I was looking at this one before it got sold out. I like this one. This is kind of like their mid-range card from ASRock. Whereas the Challenger is, you know how I feel about the Challenger. If you guys been familiar with the channel, the Challenger usually pretty cheap, nothing too special about it. If we actually look at the heatsink, it looks very similar to the RX 5700 XT, where I had problems with it, right? There was no thermal pads in the backside of the PCB, you know, because the GDDR6 and 5 and 5X and 6X are flip chip design, pushing out most of its heat towards the backside. So a nice thermal pad connection between that and the back plate would be good. But maybe they changed it. Maybe they have thermal pads on the backside now. The cooler is a little bit thick, but the heat sink is not all that. Maybe if I did get this GPU, I would do a teardown. But basically, similar to what we've seen with previous generation, as far as this, heat sink design, fin stack, stuff like that. It's one of their lesser models, and we haven't even seen all the models. So that's another thing too. Considering what Video Cards has on their website, we haven't even seen their models, all of it. Like BioStar, right, launches RX 7800, 7700 XT. We haven't seen these anywhere yet. So maybe that might be more on the Asian market and we'll ship out later. And this is just a plain Jane low ball cooler, which maybe that's all it needs. You don't need all that, right? So maybe that's perfectly fine. But yeah, we haven't seen all the models. We got Asus on here, we got ASRock, we got Sapphire, we got PowerColor, and I think that's pretty much it for as far as XFX is on here. As far as manufacturers, right? They might have a few models of each, you know, like the Challenger, the Gaming or the Phantom, the Gigabyte Windforce 3, the Sapphire Pulse, and then Sapphire Pulse is one of my favorites. That's a dual fan card, but look at the way that fan looks, dude. That fan looks trippy as heck. But these cards are usually pretty good. Sapphire does a really good job. You know, dual BIOS switch is what I've seen on most of these cards. I can't tell if this one has one. It doesn't look like it has one. A dual BIOS on this one. I wonder why Sapphire didn't do a dual BIOS. I could be wrong. Let's see if we can find it real quick. But yeah, these things aren't going to be too power hungry. You should be able to get some decent gaming out of it, you know, at 1440p, depending on the title. I wouldn't push 4K, but you can do 4K on certain titles, just not all. And I'm happy for AMD. I'm just not so excited that I'm willing to accrue more debt and put myself in a position to where I have to spend more. And I'm not selling my crypto to buy this card. My crypto is for break glass in case of emergency and family retirement to secure my family. So I'm not going to pull the trigger unless you guys absolutely vote for me to do so. And obviously, because if it doesn't get a lot of views, because GPU mining isn't as profitable as it was back in the day, you know, it's not as ecstatic. Crypto.com. No, crypto is not as hyped as it once, you know, because we're in a bear market. Then it's not worth it. It's not worth it for me. It's not worth the expenditure to get this card. However, if you get this card and you are so kind as to allow me the opportunity to remote in, you can set it up on a separate system if you want, to remote in and run my gambit of testing, I would greatly appreciate it. I posted this on Twitter. If you're interested in allowing me the opportunity to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, I will wait till price cuts come. And if I happen to make a decent paycheck or a decent amount of money all of a sudden and I can buy the card, I will buy the card. But as of right now, I'm going to chill. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hang out unless you guys absolutely want me to do so. So that's pretty much it. As you can see here, I think Starfield was a big proponent to why they sold out on Newegg so quickly. Especially the 7800 XT got good reviews. Plus, the key compared to Best Buy not providing anybody a key to the game. You can see here this announcement was advising people that, you know, hey, they're going to bundle it together. If you're interested, go ahead and grab it, so on and so forth. So thank you so much for stopping by. That is going to be the end of the live stream. Right now, I'm going to turn my attention to anybody in the live chat that would like to ask a question or otherwise. But let me know in the comments. Don't forget to enter the Gleam.io giveaway. And, you know, if you do get your hands on a 77 or 7800 XT and you would allow me the opportunity to remote in, do my benchmarks, you know, using Awesome Miner, various batch files, test out different algos, please hit me up on Twitter via DMs. You know how to find me on Discord or add me on Twitter. I don't do Telegram and WhatsApp that much. It's not as in my rotation as I guess one would say. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. As I said, I'm going to continue on talking to the live chat real quick and then get out of here. Hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit notification to stay up to date, as well as check out some of the links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And you just have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one. So right now, the 6700 XT on eBay is around $300. Pre-owned, no box, climate controlled. Let's see here. Open box, Gigabyte Eagle, PowerColor. You want to make sure that, you know, it's from a reputable person and you're not buying crap. Like this one isn't too bad. $339 for the 6700 XT. Let's go look up the 6800 XT. And we're getting ready to wrap up. So if you got any questions, you better at me or send a super chat in the live chat. Otherwise, I'm out, guys. But yeah, let's see here. Buy now. That's ridiculous pricing. 6800 XT, 394, 410, 429. So around 400, maybe 450 for the 6800 XT. Let's try to look up a 6800 if we can. Yeah, 329, 375, 399, 369. So under 400. And I mean, those to me are better buys than, you know, the 7800 and the 7700 XT. However, I understand that buying secondhand, there's a risk, and so people may not want to pull the trigger. But I am happy to see AMD do this. I'm excited to, you know, let the gamers and people that need to complete their builds get this card. It should be, you know, the 4060 Ti is irrelevant. The 4060 may be relevant, but the 4060 Ti is irrelevant. This 4070 is sweating. And while AMD isn't the top king, I believe their offerings are a lot better than Nvidia. So we'll hopefully continue to see improvements from AMD and possibly some price cuts from Nvidia. And hopefully you guys can get yourselves a GPU and go from that. It's just GPU mining isn't as prevalent right now. Not saying it's dead. I will not agree to that. I will eventually agree to that if I see certain parameters. GPU mining is not dead. It's just not as profitable. But I do believe that during the next bear run, some of these altcoins will look really attractive and GPU mining will come back into the fray. People will load up on GPUs once again. It comes in cycles. It's happened many of times. This wasn't the first time. It won't be the second time. I believe this is the third or fourth time that GPU cycles have happened where people aren't interested in GPU mining, so they sell their hardware, and then it comes back, and then they buy a bunch of new hardware because it's more profitable, and then they get back into it. So yeah, we'll see how things go. So now I'm checking out the live chat. What's up, Zay Pirate? I saw you at me and say hello. Don't try to hide that. Is this pre-recorded? Why are you ignoring chat? I always ignore chat, Zay Pirate, because I try to go focus on the topic of why people are here first, and then I focus on the live chat, right? So when I do my caffeine and crypto, I'm focusing on the news, what happened this week, crypto, and then I turn towards the live chat. I might be a little bit more interactive. I might post a poll question or something like that, but I just want to get my point across. One, I'm not buying a card because financially it doesn't make sense for me right now. It's not going to get a lot of views on the channel to recoup some of my investment. And as far as my personal debt goes, I am not comfortable adding more to my ceiling, so to speak. And if somebody wants to allow me the opportunity to test their GPUs when they have them, remote in, do a bunch of benchmarks, hash rate testing, overclocking, I would greatly appreciate it. And then I would do what I normally do, which is to go to Reddit and data dump it on the GPU mining thread. But I wasn't trying to ignore you. So now, if you have any questions, yeah, go for it. So let's see here. It's basically good morning. You're saying hi to Automatic Beats. Hello all. I'll wait for the actual numbers from the gaming reviews. There's no different than the 6000 series. That is true. We talked about that towards the early part of the video. There's a gaming review lineup right here. I'll post in the live chat for you, Z Pirate. So yeah, Starfield is awesome. I'm glad some of you are enjoying Starfield. What's up? In my opinion, don't waste the money. You can get used cards, pay way cheaper. Yep. So I pretty much covered everything you were trying to tell me earlier. You just needed to wait a little bit for me, Zapirate. Wait for a Hive OS to add support for these cards. Correct. Hive OS may not automatically pick up on the cards. It may or may not. It depends. Save your money, not worth it. Yep. Buy it and return it. Save your money. So the problem is if I buy it through Newegg, when I go to return it, they like to fight you on it, right? I'm not sure if you guys ever dealt with Newegg, but they will fight you tooth and nail for it, not return it. It has to have a problem. It has to have an issue, broken fan, broken connector, not working. They always try to fight you. Same thing with Amazon, especially if you buy and return things a lot. They will fight you on it. I don't think Amazon even has the RX 7800 XT yet. And then Best Buy, kind of the same thing. If I go into the store, I'm like, hey, I bought the wrong card. You know, my son, this isn't the card that my son wanted. You know, they'll really give me a hard time. Now we can get the Speedster Merc on Amazon. Maybe I might buy that there, but it won't come into September 29th. And it is coming from check the store. Always check the store. Sometimes these third-party resellers will try to rip you off. So just be mindful of that. So it looks like 7800 XTs are starting to show up on Amazon. So that's good. If I were to order through Best Buy right now, I could get it by next week, Thursday, Friday. Thank you, Financial Failure, for the $5. Appreciate the support towards my debt ceiling. People are asking you why you're ignoring your brothers. Yeah. Guys, this is how... come on, you guys aren't new to this. You guys aren't new to this. This is how I always operate. I focus on the topic of the video. The title of the video is, should you get the RX 7800 XT, 7700 XT for mining? I immediately answer that in the first 30 seconds saying no. And then I go into supporting evidence of why I didn't want to. Caffeine and crypto, I go into the news. I focus on the news, and then I come back around to live. I know a lot of people, like some of my other colleagues, might just be all integrated with the live chat. But you guys don't ask questions or interact fast enough for me to keep other people's attention, right? If we were back and forth, you and I were just talking back and forth, then it would keep my viewers' attention. I support you guys. I love you guys giving me support. But if I'm not providing some version of information, entertainment, data, and I'm just looking at the chat, waiting for a question to come in, I lose viewers. And I am trying to grow the channel. So I gotta entertain the people that come in, get what they want, then get the heck out, and then you guys to try to make sure that everybody's squared away. So, all right, there's really no questions other than the fact that I wasn't responding to you guys immediately. I would try to do better about that, but as long as I can stay fluent in the information I am providing and focusing on the point of the video, then I'm good. Live chat likes to distract us from the point of the video. So yeah, but yeah, 7800 XT, if you guys are interested, I'm pretty sure I can share my affiliate link in the live chat. This is probably the best one because you get it by Monday, September 18th, which would be not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday. The other ones won't be into the end of the month. But you don't get Starfield. You don't get Starfield. Newegg is the only one offering Starfield on these GPUs. So, I don't know, man. 500, 600, you know, I could do it. I'm on the fence. Really, it's up to you guys. If you guys want me to get it, I will get it. You guys let me know in the live chat or in the comments below because I'm about to wrap up. And that's it, man. If somebody else is going to get it and they're willing to let me test it, then bet. But as far as me spending my own personal money, because the channel is not generating enough revenue to cover the hardware in which I've been purchasing or have purchased in the past, especially right now during the bear market, then it's not really something I'm interested in. But I am excited for it. I am interested as far as the tech specs. If somebody gave me the card right now, or AMD sent it to me, or Sapphire, or one of these partner vendors sent me their GPUs, I would absolutely put it through the ringer, do all the testing, fresh system, fresh OS, gaming benchmarks, mining benchmarks, hash rates, power draw at the wall. I would do it all. But I'm not in that position. So we'll see. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. You guys go have fun. I'll talk to you later. And thank you for trolling me and giving me a hard time, as always. This Caffeine and Crypto this upcoming Saturday will be more interactive. And don't forget that September 30th, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, follow me. September 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's been an announcement. Vozcoin, Bitsby Trippin', Michael Carter, Matt, or Blind Run, son of a tech, will be joining me for a quick meeting at 3 p.m. live stream to talk about how crypto mining has changed since the Ethereum merge. Gathering some of the content creators that have been in the space for a while. Just a quick meeting because it's really hard to get this select group together, including myself, to find time that all of us can get together. So if you're interested in that, follow me on Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you later. And for all the gamers that hate miners, I hope you can continue to be more open because we're all one and the same. You don't hate the average miner. You might hate the big mining farms that buy GPUs by the pallet, but that's no longer a problem because GPU mining profitability is down, and there's plenty of cards out there on the secondhand market, which a number of your tech tubers recommend getting instead of the 7800 XT or the 6700 XT or the 7700 XT because of the price to performance. However, these cards should perform very well efficiently. So catch you guys later. I'll see you in the next one.